In the light.
Allahu Akbar, dear friends, God is most glorious. Happy and blessed Easter Sunday. He is risen. Welcome to the Sunday morning devotional program sponsored by the Spiritual Assemblies of the Baha'is of South DeKalb County and Sandy Springs, Georgia. So wonderful to have all of you with us today. You know, across the globe, the teachings of the Baha'i faith brought to us more than 150 years ago by His Holiness Baha'u'llah, its founder, and whose name in Arabic means the glory of God. His teachings have inspired and continue to inspire individuals and communities as they strive to improve their own lives and contribute to the advancement of civilization. Baha'i beliefs address such essential themes as the oneness of God and religion, the oneness of humanity and freedom from all forms of prejudice, the inherent nobility of the human being, the progressive revelation of religious truth, a gradual unfolding of God's purpose with the appearance of each divine teacher, the development of spiritual qualities which allows us to reflect the image God made us in, the integration of worship and service, with work performed in the spirit of service actually being accounted as worship in the eyes of God. The fundamental equality of the sexes more widely evidenced in a setting of equal opportunity. The harmony between religion and science as an established fact. The centrality of justice in all human endeavor. The importance of education, particularly for children. And the dynamics of the relationships that strive to bind together individuals, communities, and institutions as humanity advances towards its collective maturity. Friends, every week we've been having outstanding programs presented, and today we're going to continue that tradition. We're pleased to have you join us. Again, welcome. We'll begin with opening devotions, followed by a video presentation. Please silence your electronic devices and mute yourselves if you are not speaking. Thank you. Elizabeth, unmute yourself. Thank you. Oh, for some reason we can't hear you again.
We can't hear.
So do you have the microphone on just your computer, not Zoom? Your computer, is that microphone?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Okay.
Thank you.
Ordain for me, O my Lord, and for those who believe in thee, that which is deemed best for us in thine estimation, as set forth in the mother book. For within the grasp of thy hand thou holdest the determined measures of all things. Thy goodly gifts are unceasingly showered upon such as cherish thy love, and the wondrous tokens of thy heavenly bounties are amply bestowed on those who recognize thy divine unity. We commit unto thy care whatsoever thou hast destined for us, and implore thee to grant us all the good that thy knowledge embraceth. Protect me, O my Lord, from every evil, that thine omniscience perceiveth, inasmuch as there is no power nor strength but in thee. No triumph is forthcoming save from thy presence, and it is thine alone to command. Whatever God hath willed hath been, and that which he hath not willed shall not be. There is no power nor strength except in God, the most exalted, the most mighty of all.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Dorothy?
Lord, provide for the speedy growth of the tree of thy divine unity. Water at then, O Lord, the flowering waters of thy good pleasure, and cause it before the revelation of thy divine assurance to yield such fruits as thou desirest for thy glorification and exaltation, thy praise and thanksgiving, and and to magnify thy name, to laud the oneness of thine essence, and to offer adoration unto thee, inasmuch as all this hath within thy grasp, and in that of none other great is the blessedness of those whose blood thou hast chosen, wherewith to water the tree of thine affirmation, and thus to exalt thy holy and immutable word. The Bob.
Thank you, Dorothy. Kathy?
O ye men of wisdom among nations, shut your eyes to estrangement, then fix your gaze upon unity. Cleave tenaciously unto that which will lead to the well-being and tranquility of all mankind. This span on earth is but one homeland and one habitation. It behooveth you to abandon vainglory, which causeth alienation, and to set your hearts on whatever will ensure harmony. In the estimation of the people of Baha'i, man's glory lieth in his knowledge, his upright conduct, his praiseworthy character, his wisdom, and not in his nationality or rank. O people of earth, appreciate the value of this heavenly word. Indeed, it may be likened unto a ship for the ocean of knowledge, and a shining luminary for the realm of perception. Baha'u'llah.
Thank you, Kathy. Nosrat?
O my God, unite the hearts of thy servants and reveal to them thy great purpose. May they follow thy commandments and abide in thy law. Help them, O God, in their endeavor, and grant them strength to serve thee. O God, leave them not to themselves, but God, guide their steps by the light of thy knowledge, and cheer their hearts by thy love. Verily, thou art their helper and their Lord. Baha'u'llah.
Thank you, Nosrat. Elizabeth?
Thou compassionate Lord, thou who art generous and able, we are servants of thine, sheltered beneath thy providence. Cast thy glance of favor upon us. Give light to our eyes, hearing to our ears, and understanding and love to our hearts. Render our souls joyous and happy through thy glad tidings. O Lord, point out to us the pathway of thy kingdom and resuscitate all of us through the breaths of the Holy Spirit. Bestow upon us life everlasting and order upon us never-ending honor. Unite mankind and illumine the world of humanity. May we follow thy pathway, long for thy good pleasure, and seek the mysteries of thy kingdom. O God, unite us and connect our hearts with thy indissoluble bond. Verily, thou art the giver, thou art the kind one, and thou art the Almighty. Abdul Baha.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Dorothy?
Consecrate thou, O my Lord, my God, the whole of the tree unto him, that from it may be revealed all the fruits created by God within it, for him through whom God hath willed to reveal all that he pleaseth. By thy glory, I have not wished that this tree should ever bear any branch, leaf, or fruit that would fail to bow down before him on the day of his revelation, or refuse to laud thee through him, as beseemeth the glory of his all glorious revelation and the sublimity of his most sublime concealment. And should thou behold, O my God, any branch, leaf, or fruit upon me that hath failed to bow down before him on the day of his revelation, cut it off, O my God, from that tree, for it is not of me, nor shall it return unto me. The Bob.
Thank you, Dorothy. Kathy?
O my brother, hearken to the delightsome words of my honeyed tongue, and quaff the stream of mystic holiness from my sugar-shedding lips. Sow the seeds of my divine wisdom in the pure soil of thy heart, and water them with the water of certitude, that the hyacinths of my knowledge and wisdom may spring up fresh and green in the sacred city of thy heart. Baha'u'llah.
Thank you, Kathy. Nasrat?
You called me?
Nasrat.
Yes. Baha'u'llah has proclaimed the oneness of the world of humanity. I don't see that. He has caused various nations and divergent creeds to unite. He has declared that difference and race and color is like the vineyard beauty of flowers in a garden. If you enter a garden, you will see yellow, white, blue, red flowers in profusion and beauty, each radiant within itself and although different from the others, lending its own charm to the garden. Racial difference in the human kingdom is similar. If all the flowers in a garden were of the same color, the effect would be monotonous and wearing to the eye. Therefore, Baha'u'llah has said that the various races of humankind lead a composite harmony
Composite.
and beauty of color to the whole. Let all associate, therefore, in this great human garden, even as flowers grow and blend together side by side, without discord or disagreement between them. Abdul Baha, from the promulgate of the universal. The rest of it I don't see in this side.
Peace. It's
Thank you
fine.
very much.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Elizabeth, could you read the last one?
The diversity in the human family should be the cause of love and harmony, as it is in music, where many different notes blend together in the making of a perfect chord. If you meet those of different race and color from yourself, do not mistrust them and withdraw yourself into your shell of conventionality, but rather be glad and show them kindness. Think of them as different colored roses growing in the beautiful garden of humanity and rejoice to be among them. Abdul Baha, Paris Talks.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Friends, it's now time for the healing prayer. I'm going to ask Matthew, if you're still present, if you would read the healing prayer for us this morning.
Sure.
Thank you.
Thy name is my healing, O my God, and remembrance of thee is my remedy. Nearness to thee is my hope, and love for thee is my companion. Thy mercy to me is my healing and my succor in both this world and the world to come. Thou verily art the all-bountiful, the all-knowing, the all-wise. Baha'u'llah.
Thank you, Matthew. I know this is a little out of order, but you can still call out the names of anybody that you wish to have remembered through that prayer for healing.
Joel Smith,
Walter Harper,
Elon Bowers,
Richard Harper,
Andy,
Felicia Alexander Simmons,
Josie Reynolds,
America,
America,
thank you all. Barbara, are you prepared to show the wonderful video?
Muhammad, Krishna, or the Buddha are the way. Still some believe it's right to say in the name of Jesus when you pray. We are a humankind of 7 billion. So many different races and religions, and it all comes down to one. Some say God's a him, and still many believe that he is a her. Does God live in our hearts, or is she somewhere out there in the universe? We are a humankind of 7 billion. So many different races and religions, and it all comes down to one. How far will we have to go before we learn the lesson? Gandhi was a Hindu, Martin Luther King a Christian. Regardless of religion, they knew love was the mission, and it all comes down to one. No God at all, or a pantheon of gods up in the sky. We can heal our broken heart if we give up the desire to be right. We are a humankind of 7 billion. So many different races and religions, and we all want the same things: health, love, prosperity, and peace. Tolerance is the seed, and the gift of your acceptance is the tree. We are a humankind of 7 billion. So many different races and religions, and it all comes down to one. Whether you are red, brown, yellow, black, or white, a man with a husband or a woman with a wife, we can debate until the end of time who's wrong and who is right, but we can see ourselves as one, 'cause it all comes down to love. of 7 billion. So many different races and religions, and it all comes down to one.
That was absolutely beautiful. It all comes down to one. It all comes down to love. Beautiful. Thank you, Barbara. Thank you so much. Friends, every week we're blessed to have a guest presenter to come and share with us their insights on a particular topic. This week we're honored to have with us Mr. Nelson Gonzalez, who declared his belief in Baha'u'llah just this past September. And already he's presenting to the Baha'i community. He declared in the community of Western Florida and has since joined the community of Miami, where he resides, and is a member of that community. He's been an occupational therapist practitioner for more than 15 years. He was owner and lead consultant. I gotta get this on here, okay. He was owner and lead consultant of an outstanding small business called Theralutions LLC, which was a consumer-oriented company which provided accessibility consultation and environmental modification solutions with a primary focus on safe independence and quality of life. They were a service provider that evaluated the spaces in which individuals perform their everyday activities and the influence that physical barriers and unreasonable conditions may have on functioning. He has numerous certifications and achievements that are actually too numerous to mention here. But you will learn and understand from his presentation just how accomplished and clear-sighted he is. Friends, please welcome this morning Nelson Gonzalez, who will give us a presentation on Balance, the Lost Virtue, the Baha'i teachings on balance and moderation. Please welcome Mr. Gonzalez. Thank you.
Hi, thanks for inviting me. So grateful for this. Let me share my screen. Can you guys see my screen? Okay, great.
Yes.
Yes, we can see.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Life, I wonder, will it take me under? I don't know. Let me repeat that. Life, I wonder, will it take me under? I don't know. To many of us, that's just not lyrics to a song. That's the theme of our lives. Many of us, to be quite frank, are living a life that is effed up. And if you think I'm referring to that four-letter word, you are highly mistaken. Many of us are living in a 19-letter phrase. We are living either in the fight, flight, or freeze mode. We are constantly fighting with the outside world or within ourselves. We are trying to flee someone else or flee ourselves. Or maybe we're just frozen in time, not being able to move. And I'm tired of it. Are you? Do you ever feel that your life is so unstable, you just want to scream, yell? Do you ever tell yourself the following? I am tired of crying. I am tired of yelling. I'm tired of being sad, of pretending. I'm tired of being alone. I'm tired of being angry. I'm tired of needing help. I'm tired of remembering. I'm tired of feeling stuck. I'm tired of feeling crazy. I'm tired of missing people. I'm tired of being different. I'm tired of feeling worthless. I'm tired of feeling empty inside. I am tired of not being able to just let go. I'm tired of wishing I could start all over. But most of all, I'm just tired of being tired. The stone that you see before you here are only being up for one reason. That's because of balance. Chronic stress places our lives in a state of imbalance, and we begin to crumble and fall. Do you guys remember this commercial? Help, I've fallen, I can't get up. Basically, this commercial was to promote Life Alert, okay? So if someone had physically fallen, they would press this button and emergency services will come and assist that individual. But today, I'm not just going to talk about physical dysfunction that's making us fall. I'm talking about the psychosocial, emotional aspects of our lives that are making it difficult for us to literally stand up. So what is this global pandemic we're all dealing with? The first thing that pops into mind is the COVID-19, the coronavirus. This is not what I'm speaking of today. I'm speaking to you about depression. Globally, more than 264 million people of all ages suffer from depression. Depression is a leading cause of disability worldwide and is a major contributor to the overall global burden of disease. More women are affected by depression than men. And depression, unfortunately, can lead to suicide. And most of it's because we don't have balance in our lives. It's the neglected virtue and the lost virtue of our time. The Bob stated, nothing is more precious in the eyes of God than balance. Abdu'l-Baha also stated, no matter how far the material world advances, it cannot establish the happiness of mankind. Only when material and spiritual civilization are linked and coordinated will happiness be assured. Material civilization is like unto the lamp, while spiritual civilization is the light in that lamp. If the material and spiritual civilization become united, then we will have the light and the lamp together, and the outcome will be perfect. For material civilization is like unto a beautiful body, and spiritual civilization is like unto the spirit of life. If that wondrous spirit of life enters this beautiful body, the body will become a channel for the distribution and development of the perfections of humanity. Abdu'l-Baha also stated this, it is clear from what has already been said that man's glory and greatness do not consist in his being avid for blood and sharp of claw, in tearing down cities and spreading havoc, in butchering armed forces and civilians. What would mean a bright future for him would be his reputation for justice, his kindness to the entire population, whether high or low, his building up countries and cities, villages and districts, his making life easy, peaceful, and happy for his fellow beings, his laying down fundamental principles for progress, his raising the standards and increasing the wealth of the entire population. So why is our civilization so lost? Why is the world not in balance? Why such disarray? Why such conflict? Why is that? Is it because the poor nutrition we're intaking, the ultra processed foods, the processed foods that are just causing our brain to become in a fog? Is our disarray in our interpersonal relationship with our loved ones, with our husband, with our wives, our partners in life? Is it due to the stress that our kids are putting us through? Is it parenting? Is it social media? Constantly on YouTube, constantly on Instagram? Is it being a zombie to the world of TV? Too much Netflix? Is it that we're not exercising enough? Is it all the financial difficulties we're dealing with? All the bills, oh my God, it's tax season. I have to pay this, I have to pay that. Is it the political unrest that's going on? The divisiveness? Is it the prejudices? There's many of them. Abdu'l-Baha stated this, the happiness of mankind lieth in the unity and the harmony of the human race. Baha'u'llah stated that prejudices of all kinds, whether religious, racial, patriotic, or political, are destructive of divine foundations in man. All the warfare and bloodshed in human history have been the outcomes of prejudice. This earth is one home and native land. God has created mankind with equal endowment and right to live upon the earth. As a city is the home of all its inhabitants, although each may have his individual place of residence therein, so the earth's surface is one wide native land or home for all races of humankind. All men have been created to carry forward an ever advancing civilization. The Almighty beareth me witness. To act like the beast of the field is unworthy of man. Those virtues that befit his dignity are forbearance, mercy, compassion, and loving kindness towards all the peoples and kindreds of the earth. Doesn't say to some, doesn't say to 2, 3, or 4, it says to all the kindreds of the earth. O ye beloved of God, know ye verily that the happiness of mankind lieth in the unity and the harmony of the human race, and that spiritual and material developments are conditioned upon love and amity among all men. Consider how the cause of the welfare, happiness, joy, and comfort of humankind are amity and union, whereas dissension and discord are most conducive to hardship, humiliation, agitation, and failure. Baha'u'llah stated, delight not yourself in the things of the world and its vain ornaments, neither set your hopes on them. We exhort you with justice and warn you with truth, that perchance ye may be awakened. Lay not on any soul a load which ye would not wish to be laid upon you, and desire not for anyone the things ye would not desire for yourselves. This is my best counsel unto you. Be a treasure to the poor, an admonisher to the rich, an answerer to the cry of the needy. Be as a lamp unto them that walk in darkness, a joy to the sorrowful, a sea for the thirsty, a haven for the distressed, an upholder and defender of the victim of oppression. Be a home for the stranger, a balm to the suffering, a tower of strength for the fugitive. If we are true Baha'is, speech is not needed, Abdu'l-Baha stated. Therefore, our actions will help the world. Therefore, strive that your actions day by day may be beautiful prayers. Enrich the poor, raise the fallen, comfort the sorrowful, bring healing to the sick, reassure the fearful, rescue the oppressed, bring hope to the hopeless, shelter the destitute. This is the work of a true Baha'i, and this is what is expected of him. If you are fearful, you're not alone. You're definitely not alone. Many of us are afraid. Jesus experienced fear. He encouraged his disciples to learn how to manage their fears and anxieties. He modeled it for them. He taught them that worrying never added a single positive thing to your life. None. Service to mankind is the paramount motive of all existence. Abdu'l-Baha stated, again, service. But guys, don't forget to service yourself. Love yourself, accept yourself, forgive yourself, and be good to yourself. Because without you, the rest of us are without a source of many wonderful things. Guard your health above all else, for it determines the course of your life. If you sleep, it should be not for pleasure, but to rest the body in order to do better, to speak better, to explain more beautifully, to serve the servants of God, and to prove the truths. When he remains awake, he should seek to be attentive, serve the cause of God, and sacrifice his own stations for those of God. When he attains to this station, the confirmations of the Holy Spirit will surely reach him. God has given us the key. We really don't have to search. We have the key to this. He has given us eyes that we may look about us at the world and lay hold of whatsoever will further civilization and the arts of living. He has given us ears that we may hear and profit by the wisdom of scholars and philosophers and arise to promote and practice it. Senses and faculties have been bestowed upon us to be devoted to the service of the general good, so that we, distinguished above all other forms of life for perceptiveness and reason, should labor at all times and along all lines, whether the occasion be great or small, ordinary or extraordinary, until all mankind are safely gathered into the impregnable stronghold of knowledge. We should continually be establishing new bases for human happiness and creating and promoting new instrumentalities toward this end. How excellent, how honorable is man if he arises to fulfill his responsibilities. How wretched and contemptible if he shuts his eyes to the welfare of society and wastes his precious life in pursuing his own selfish interest and personal advantages. It's our egos that's getting in the way of many, many things, and that's causing destructiveness in this world today. It really is. It's about unity. When we observe the phenomena of the universe, we realize that the axis around which life revolves is love, while the axis around which death and destruction revolve is animosity and hatred. The proof is clear that in all degrees and kingdoms, unity and agreement, love and fellowship are the cause of life, whereas dissension, animosity, and separation are ever conducive to death. Therefore, we must strive with life and soul in order that day by day, unity and agreement may be increased among mankind, and that love and affinity may become more resplendently glorious and manifest. Abdu'l-Baha stated this: "Know thou of a certainty that love is the secret of God's holy dispensation, the manifestation of the all-merciful, the fountain of spiritual outpourings. Love is heaven's kindly light, the Holy Spirit's eternal breath that verifieth the human soul. Love is the cause of God's revelation unto man, the vital bond inherent in accordance with the divine creation and the realities of things. Love is the one means that ensureth true felicity, both in this world and the next. Love is the light that guideth in darkness, the living link that unith God with man, that assureth the progress of every illumined soul. Love is the most great law that ruleth this mighty and heavenly cycle, the unique power that bindeth together the diverse elements of the material world, the supreme magnetic force that directeth the movements of the spheres in the celestial realms. Love revealeth with unfailing and limitless power the mysteries latent in the universe. Love is the spirit of life unto the adorned body of mankind, the establisher of true civilization in this mortal world, and the shedder of imperishable glory upon every high aiming race and nation." But again, remember, you need to balance loving yourself with that of loving others. That is true love. Let's continue to positively change external conflict in society and our internal conflict within ourselves into internal and external unity. But how? How do we do this? Where do we start? So if I just tell you, hey, if you have a healthy body, you have a healthy mind, you'll be a happy human. Would that help you? I don't think so. Okay, let me tell you this. So if I say, all right, in order for us to have balance in our lives, you need to have a well-rounded career, your family has to be intact, your health has to be intact, you have to have good friends, supporting friends. Would that help? It help more, but is that enough? Absolutely not. We need to literally, look at the physical and structural aspects of our bodies and minds. We need to look at the nutritional chemical aspects that we're actually inducing, right? We're actually giving ourselves. We need to make sure that our mental and emotional states are balanced, and we're working on that. Not sometimes, not once a week, not once a month, but every time. We have to look at our internal and external environments, okay? Is it toxic? And what are we doing about it? And what's mostly neglected is the spiritual aspects of our lives. So still, where do we start? Where does it start? It starts with you. Let's quickly go over 6 categories to assist with the life balance to help break the prison of imbalance that we're all dealing with. Physical. We need to assure that we have safe housing, regular medical care, eat healthy, we must exercise. If there was ever a magic pill, exercise would be it. We need to make sure we get enough sleep, take vacations, get massages, get some me time. The psychological aspects of our lives. Are we aware of ourselves? Are we practicing self-reflection? Are we going out into the sun? Are we thinking about just the negative aspects of us? No, we should be thinking about the positive qualities that we have. We have to practice self-love, to be self-compassionate. Cry if you want to cry, scream if you want to scream, laugh when you want to laugh. Say I love you. Find a hobby. Cuddle. Practice forgiveness. Learn who you are. Figure out what you want in life. Foster friendships. Try to go out and get coffee with friends, despite the pandemic that we're dealing with, this coronavirus. Try to relax as much as possible. Try to get out of debt. There's a lot of stress. Set boundaries. Leave work at work. Ask for help if you need it. Learn to say no. Go out into nature. Find a spiritual community. Dance, play, get inspired. Take a yoga class. You can even do that online now. Find a spiritual mentor. Volunteer for a cause. Foster self-forgiveness. And as Baha'is, you know, we have to harmonize the words that were recited with science. Okay. So how does stress actually affect the body? The brain, you have difficulty concentrating. It affects your cardiovascular system, high cholesterol, high blood pressure. Your joints and muscles begin to ache and pain. You wake up, man, what do my body hurt? Did I do anything yesterday? I start having skin breakdown, rashes. Okay, I'm losing my hair, my gut, my stomach. I don't know. I just something's up. I have trouble planning and organizing. I can't concentrate. I can't even focus anymore. I have trouble remembering details. I can't multitask. I have trouble controlling my impulses, controlling my emotion. I just yell. I have trouble listening or paying attention. I know that person speaking to me, but I have no idea what they're saying. I have difficulty solving simple problems. I'm not performing well at work, at school, at home. I just have low self-esteem. I have avoidance of difficult tasks. This is what chronic stress does. Decreases your motivation. It disrupts your body's homeostasis. Okay, I stated before, your attention is impaired. You have lower mood, you're anxious. You can't sleep well. You're fatigued, you're tired all the time. Your gut-brain axis, okay, it's just off. Okay? You have what's called a leaky gut, which leads to a leaky brain, which leads to brain fog, which leads to having no energy. There's so much studies and such great research on overthinking and being chronically stressed and how our mitochondria, an area in our body that helps us produce ATP, which is for energy, it's just overused. And of course you can't sleep. Your cortisol levels are too high. That's our stress hormone. Of course you don't want to exercise. You're tired. But what are we doing about it? What are you doing about it? We have to balance with being just humans that are doing things all the time to being a human being. How can we do that? Where does it start? We have to break out of this jail, this prison of mental distress. The Buddha stated that you can begin to change your relationship to stress for the better. This is not accomplished by wishful thinking or pretending to be other than who you are, but by training your mind and opening your heart. Right now, let's just practice something, okay? What I want you guys to do is just stretch your arms out really wide as far as you can. And I want you to squeeze yourself, give yourself a hug, nice and tight, nice and tight, nice and tight, nice and tight. Practice self-love. What I want you to do next is open your hands nice and wide. We're going to practice what's called some progressive muscle relaxation. I want you to clench your fist as tight as you can for 5 seconds, then release. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, release. Let's do that one more time. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. 3, 2, 1, release. Do the same thing with your toes. Squeeze your toes for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Let's do some 4, 7, 8 breathing. What I want you to do is the first 4 is the 4 seconds. You're going to inhale through your nose. And then for 7 seconds, you're going to try to hold that breath for 7 seconds. And then we're going to release for 8. Just listen to my count. Don't worry about counting. We're going to inhale in 3, 2, 1. Breathe in for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going to do that one more time. But when you breathe in, just think of things that you want in your life: peace, love, happiness. When you hold it, hold on to that. And when you release, I want you to release anything that's bothering you. Here we go. In 3, 2, 1. Inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release that. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Now let's practice some positive I am statements. I want you to repeat after me. Keep your microphone on mute, okay? But just don't repeat it. Believe it, okay? I am strong. I am confident. I am happy. I am amazing. I am great. I am healthy. I am unique. I am special. I am gifted. I am loved. I am lovable. I am joyous. I am fabulous. I am wonderful. I am me. I am me. I am me. I'm going to read a passage to you guys that really touched my heart the first time I read it. The paradox of our time in history is that we have taller buildings but shorter tempers, wider freeways but narrow viewpoints. We spend more but have less. We buy more but enjoy less. We have bigger houses and smaller families, more conveniences but less time. We have more degrees but less sense, more knowledge but less judgment, more experts yet more problems, more medicine but less wellness. We drink too much, smoke too much, spend too recklessly, laugh too little, drive too fast, get too angry, stay up too late, get up too tired, read too little, watch TV too much, and pray too seldom. We have multiplied our possessions but reduced our values. We talk too much, love too seldom, and hate too often. We've learned how to make a living, but not a life. We've added years to life, not life to years. We've been all the way to the moon and back, but have trouble crossing the street to meet a new neighbor. We've conquered outer space, but not inner space. We've done larger things, but not better things. We've cleaned up the air, but polluted the soul. We've conquered the atom, but not our prejudice. We write more, but learn less. We plan more, but accomplish less. We've learned to rush, but not to wait. We build more computers to hold more information to produce more copies than ever, but we communicate less and less. These are times of fast foods and slow digestion, big men and small characters, steep profits and shallow relationships. These are the days of 2 incomes, but more divorce, fancier houses, but broken homes. These are days of quick trips, disposable diapers, throwaway morality, one-night stands, overweight bodies, and pills that do everything from cheer to quiet to kill. It is a time when there's much in the show window and nothing in the stockroom. A time when technology can bring this letter to you, and a time when you can choose either to share this insight or to just hit delete. Remember, spend time with your loved ones because they are not going to be around forever. Remember, say a kind word to someone who looks up to you in awe because that little person soon will grow up and leave your side. Remember to give a warm hug to the one next to you because that is the only treasure you can give with your heart and it doesn't cost a cent. Remember to say I love you to your partner and your loved ones, but most of all, mean it. A kiss and an embrace will mend hurt when it comes from deep inside of you. Give time to love, give time to speak, give time to share the precious thoughts in your mind. And always remember this, grapes must be crushed to make wine. Diamonds form under pressure. Olives are pressed to release oil. Seeds grow in darkness. Whenever you feel crushed under pressure, feel pressed, or you feel like you're in the dark, you're in a powerful place of transformation, but you must keep going. You must trust the process. Do not give up. Collectively, let's change this into this. Thank you. So it's time for some reflection and sharing. Stop sharing my screen.
Wow, thank you for that wonderful and information-filled presentation on balance. That was awesome. Lots of insights present there. And we would love for anybody who had any comments, anything they wanted to ask Nelson or have him focus on, please feel free to share your thoughts now.
I was very happy to hear you speak of loving self. I remember in the Bible, one of Christ's injunctions to the disciples at the Last Supper was that you love one another, and I love you. But then in some of the books, it's that you love one another as you love yourself. So self-love is really the love you feel for God. And if you don't have it, then you can't love anyone else because you don't experience love. So I thought that was wonderful to bring that up.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Any other comments or thoughts?
I'm thinking that during this time of pandemic, some of the things that we depended on to help balance ourselves have been sort of removed because of the interactions that we might have had face to face, and the activities that we were used to doing. And I think that part of what's happening during this time of the pandemic is that we need to find a new balance, a different balance, and do some of the introspection to help us understand that we can grow into that new balance.
Great point.
What Nelson does so beautifully is that he mixes experience and science of psychology and healing with the spiritual healing teachings of Baha'u'llah and Baha'i faith. That really makes kind of perfection because we are both, we are spirit and we are body. And the needs are both. And he mixes it and brings very simple way. He really gives it. He feeds us as you feed children. We need it, Nelson. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you guys. And it's funny when you break it down, chemically and biologically, the area in our brain that controls our coordination or our balance, there's a direct route, a direct link to something that's called the VTA axis, ventral tegmental area, and that's our reward center. So the more you work on actual physical balance, you actually become delighted. That's why those that practice like yoga or any similar activities, once you're done with that session, you feel balanced, literally. You feel delighted, you feel peaceful. And there was a slide in the devotional aspect that spoke about something with the garden. You can't just have one flower in the garden. And, the garden should be, with different flowers and things of that nature. When you look at, horticulture or cropping, it is funny because I was just thinking about it when someone was reading it. Monocropping, just producing one crop on soil, is actually very bad for the earth. For regeneration aspects, it's better to have different crops in one area, in one soil. Just having corn is very bad for the earth in one area. Just having pumpkin in one area is very bad. Monocropping is horrible for the earth. It should be balanced. And in that sense, sometimes we in our lives, we have to focus. Maybe it's the season for corn, right? Sometimes we have to focus in our lives in one area, maybe work on our professional relationship, our personal relationships. We have to focus more, and some things sort of get left behind, but we can't forget that neither. We have to always go back. And as Donna was stating, we have to adapt to the times that are changing, right? We have to adapt. We can't be stagnant. We have to adapt. We have to change. Because of the coronavirus, you're right. Many of us could not continue with the things that we did before to help us keep in balance, like be with our loved ones and friends and hug. But we have to find it. We can't remain stagnant.
Any other thoughts? I agree with Nasrat that it was like a perfect marriage between the material and spiritual. An awful lot gleaned from those writings that you shared. That was precious. Thank you.
May I chant a prayer at the end?
Certainly, once we are done with this aspect of the presentation. Thank you.
Hello, Hermione. This is Barbara.
Yes, Barbara.
I just wanted to say thank you for all the positive messages that came out today. It's been a long time to hear people say, you're worthy, you're wonderful, you love yourself, it's just something I used to do a lot of. And when we're isolated, as we are now, it's very difficult to remember some of that. And thank you, and thanks to the love of my son and my neighbors. I don't think we're on camera.
No.
I don't think
Okay.
I wouldn't be here without their support. But this message is just a reminder of how special each one of us is in the sight of God, and needs to be that way inside of ourselves. We need to remember to see that. So thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Barbara. Appreciate that.
Hi, this is Elaine.
Hi, Elaine.
I wanted to thank Nelson. His delivery, beautiful, informative, uplifting, something that I need to work on this balance, the spiritual and the social and everything in between. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Elaine.
Nice seeing you. Carry on.
Wonderful to see you as well, Elaine. Thank you. Any additional comments or thoughts?
Just wanted to thank you, Nelson, for this wonderful presentation. It was very well planned out, and I love the mix of the spiritual with the material. It's excellent. Thank you.
I also appreciated your stats on depression and not realizing the scope and depth of that particular affliction worldwide. That's a lot of people, 264 million people. That's a lot.
And to be quite frank, that those numbers will
Imbalance.
rise. Those numbers are rising because the new numbers haven't come out yet because of the coronavirus. And especially with the suicide rate in our youth. And unfortunately, last week, one of my son's friends died by suicide. And it's true. It's a neglected aspect of our lives. Mental health, mental illness. It's just, we just think about in this country's medical world, we just think about physical dysfunctions, right? Not mental and psychosocial faults that we have, or issues that we have. And we don't focus enough on exercise and nutrition. That was my first slide with, hey, what's going on? The nutrition is just horrible in this country. But that's for another day. But it's just so many things that we really need to focus on and try to balance our lives and educate ourselves and others in order to prosper.
That's a good point and something to bear in mind as we go forward, especially food and the imbalance in terms of what we think are comfort foods, that word, which are not really long-term comforting. It's a short-term gratification. Whereas, say, for example, the thing that I can feel the difference in my skin without touching it when I consume extracted juice from vegetables. It's just a total difference in what my actual skin feels like. It's like, how you water a withering plant and it just all of a sudden you can see the petals and leaves opening up right as you water. It's like that with vegetables from, juice from raw vegetables. For me, that is my comfort, more so than what I used to consider as comfort food.
I would like to ask Nelson if he has other presentations on the various aspects of the physical, mental, social.
Yes, I do. And I actually have, I present a lot pretty often, and mostly because I'm a clinician. I speak a lot about chronic stress, especially, and then that's when I really break it down on the foods and the anxieties that are going on, and on chronic stress, on sleep, diet, how much exercise, because too much exercise is not good at all. So I really delve deep into the scientific and research-based aspects of that. And I do that more in the clinical world, but I'll be more than happy to modify it, not to make it so in depth and so structurally and chemically broken down. But it really relates. It relates, and it's important, and it's something that most of us need to hear about. And also, I also speak about our environment. Decluttering your home could help decluttering your mind, for instance.
Exactly.
I also speak about how big pharma, or big ag, we call it, big agriculture, how they're deceit. They trick us. They addict us to certain ingredients. And that's why when Hermione was saying is comfort food. Not really. You become addicted to certain ingredients, and they have chemists, they have scientists that do that on purpose.
Right.
You know, I dare you cannot just have one Lay's potato chip, right? It's almost impossible. Think about it. Think about it. You really can't. There's a reason for it, and there's such great research on that. You know, it's we have what's called glucomorphines, where, for instance, and casomorphines. So, for instance, certain products light up our brain just like heroin does, and they show functional MRI. They show imaging like that, right? Sugars, especially. So MSG, and that's hidden in many different type of ingredients. So I go deep into there, reading food labels and things of that nature, and trying to find a balance with still being able to socialize, going to a restaurant, right? Because you need that as well, but trying to pick out the right things as well.
I hope that you will be able to present again in the future. This is very enlightening, and I really appreciate it. Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you for the kind words.
I am sure that you will be asked to return. Now that you've appeared, you will be in our rotation of presenters. So
He's in trouble.
So wait on it. It's coming your way. Anyway, friends, are there any more comments or things that struck you from Nelson's presentation before we move on?
Yes, excuse me, Herman. I would just like to say, yes, Nelson, thank you so much, because this was an awesome and much needed to hear presentation. And one of the parts that I love so dearly was the I am, because so often we truly have a tendency, even, and I'm not just going to say only mothers, but, women, people, we love others, and, we care and nurture others, but we kind of neglect ourselves. And so that was just a sweet, gentle reminder to love me. I am all of those wonderful things that you said. So I really love that as well. But this was an awesome presentation. And yes, you must come back. You're on the radar now. But thank you so much.
Thank you, Dorothy.
My pleasure.
One last call for comments. Okay, friends, I guess that will conclude it. Thank you so much, Nelson. Your presentation was very inspiring and gave us a lot to consider in our own personal lives and the lives of our communities as well. So thank you for that. We really appreciate it. It was wonderful. We're looking forward to another one not too far in the future. So at this time, we'd like to welcome all of our guests to the Baha'i Unity Center Sunday morning devotional program. If this is your first, second, third, or next in a series of visits, feel free to share who you are, where you're from, and how you happen to be with us today. This includes Baha'is visiting from out of town and sojourners recently returned to the area. We'd love to hear from you. Well, friends, we're going to go ahead with a few quick announcements before the program closes. Our upcoming speakers are, and we have a corrected agenda for the next 3 weeks at least. Next Sunday, Faith Holmes will be speaking on the reality of man and his thoughts. On the 18th, the following week, Bijan Motlaq will be speaking on the equality of rights between men and women. And on the 25th, Dr. Carrie Murphy will be back with the Scientific Revelation Part 2, Rationality. So be sure to drop in for those outstanding presentations and watch for details soon via email. And please remember that the food distribution program is every Thursday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Baha'i Unity Center in the parking lot. So kindly spread the word to help combat food insecurity within the community. And for members of the Baha'i faith, you're warmly encouraged to make a financial contribution to the South DeKalb Baha'i Fund and or the National Baha'i Fund through the online contribution system, ocs.baha'i.us, or you can mail a check to the Baha'i Unity Center, 2370 Wesley Chapel Road, Decatur, Georgia, 30035. We would like at this time to say many thanks to all those who worked together to make today's program possible. Our speaker, our volunteer readers, Barbara Hennix, who keeps us moving forward, the spiritual assemblies of the Baha'is of South DeKalb County and Sandy Springs. And thanks to all of you for sharing your day with us. I'm Hermione Pickens. It's been a pleasure. Until next time, stay safe and well. We will end now with a closing prayer for the departed. I think.
Is she going to do that in Farsi? Because someone requested to do the closing prayer.
That's right. So Nasra, would you mind doing your chanting?
I'm saying the remover of difficulties. I'm chanting in Arabic for all of us, all the world, and especially for that family in Turkey.
Okay, wonderful.
من مفرج غير الله قل سبحان الله كل عباد له وكل بأمره قائمون.
Thank you, Nasra. We appreciate that. Thank you so much. I feel the spirit there. Well, friends, that will conclude our program for today. And hopefully we will see as many of you as possible next week.